There is some great fights on this card, including this first one, which is kicking off, which is, where are we on the... Here we go. Dustin Jacoby against Michał Oleksiejczuk. Lord Oleksiejczuk.
Lord.
That's his nickname. I love it. So Oleksiejczuk's a rather undersized fighter for this division, right? Mm-hmm. He's kind of a chubby middleweight. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but there is definitely body fat that you would get off him if you were trying to strip him down to his optimum weight, you know? If you were trying to get him into like flying weight, as they would say with birds of prey, or, you know, racing weight with a car that's been stripped down, there's definitely some that can be taken off his frame. But then, you know, he moves fast, he's got power for this weight class, and he's got this confidence in his, not only in his chin, but in his ability to connect that makes him interesting in this division. I mean, what do you reckon? He's only 27 as well.
I really like Michał.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call him Lord. I love him just because of the way he approaches fights. I've spoken to his manager, Pavel, and he just says, this dude just loves to fight. Yeah. Like, he'll fight anybody, anywhere, like in his backyard, in the training camp. Like, everything is about just throwing it down. Mm-hmm. And because of that, he has gotten sort of like a lot of rounds. He does train with his brother, and he's gotten a lot of rounds, a lot of repetition. So he's able to, even though he's not like physically as strong as the other guys, he's been in the position where he's seen so many openings by so many rounds, so many play sparring things or real sparring that he can see openings and kind of pressure you and stay in front of you and counter and move out of the way through things that he's already seen.
Yeah. You can tell he's got a lot of experience because of how comfortable he is. And I think I called a couple of his fights. The Jan Vellante fight with the body shot was just brutal. I mean, Jan Vellante moved weight classes after that, I think. And then the other one with Antigolov, Gadzimurad Antigolov, just ran at him and he got knocked down like 3 times in 45 seconds. He's got big power in his hands. My concern is that there's going to be a point where he's going to find his limit in this division. Like when he faced OSP and when he faced Jimmy Crute, they were just too much physically for him. They both submitted him. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's going to get that kind of fight against Dustin Jacoby, but I do wonder how far he gets in this division before moving a weight class makes sense. Because so if you look at his height and reach, so he's got a disadvantage in height and reach by 3 inches in height and 2 inches in reach. Now, they're my statistics. I'm 5'11 and a half with a 74-inch reach, and I'm nowhere near as big as Dustin Jacoby. I've stood next to this guy, and he's a big lump, and he, you know, he's confident in his striking skills as well. I don't think this is a problematic fight for Oleksiejczuk, which is why I'm going to pick him. But I wonder where his limit is as he gets further into the division. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm all for fighters being comfortable in the weight class, but I also think people need to be in athletic, like, you know, refined athletic condition really to find their optimum performance. Like Kelvin Gastelum, I keep going back to Kelvin Gastelum. Like he's a welterweight with too much, you know, weight on his frame. Yeah. Like really to see his true potential, I would rather see him in the weight class where he's not carrying body fat. I mean, same thing as me really. When I was never super lean on the scales, but you know that's the modernization of the sport and the Performance Institute, and you know people are far more interested in diet and nutrition.
Yeah, but like that's kind of what you see with fighters like him and with Gastelum. Like they like to fight, and they're not about like eating 3 chicken breasts and lettuce and like all of that, doing the tire hit and like, you know, your CrossFit class. They're like, let's bang, let's go.
And you don't lose that. You don't lose that attitude when you're in better shape.
No, I'm not saying that you lose it. I'm just saying that there seems to be kind of you. It's difficult to maintain that balance between going through like the numbers, the statistics, the proper weightlifting, proper diet, proper everything, and kind of keeping the fight. Because if you think about like when you're dieting a lot or when you're doing some things, you go from focusing on what is my next meal, what the macros are, what like the nutrients and all of that starts taking into play and does take away a lot from your training. And if there are the fighters that they're like, nah, if I have to do that, I don't want to do it, then that can come into play.
Yeah.
I will say he does have, he has been caught for doping, which kind of goes more to my point.
Yeah, that was his debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it kind of goes more to like, it wasn't a doping to be jacked. It was like a doping to like keep cardio going.
Yeah.
So that's the part that kind of, that I don't like that much about him, I guess.
What was it for? Was it EPO?
I don't remember. It was like, it was something like steroid like cardio related, I think. It was something like that. I don't remember much about that.
I'll have to look into it.
But then again, like, I feel like he can pressure Dustin down, but Dustin does have good kicks, like nasty kicks, and he threw a lot against Ledet, who is also a boxer.
Yeah.
And the Lord's guard, he kind of does this like this weird thing like that it scares me, because when Dustin fought Darren Stewart, he like jabbed him and then did a fake kick in order to draw a reaction, which was giving up this opening. And that guard kind of has these openings, and he might be able to connect, especially with because he's, he was a glory kickboxer. He has great like skills.
Yeah. 10-8 is worth noting though.
Yeah, but a 10-8 in glory, like in kickboxing, is not the same as
glory. I mean, this is why I think this is an interesting one to open the card, because they know they're going to get a banger, because Oleksiejczuk's style is to come crashing forward and throw overhands, and Justin Jacoby's, he either goes out on his shield or he carries somebody else out on his shield.
Yeah.
10-8 in kickboxing, 9 knockouts wins and 3 knockout losses. 16 wins in mixed martial arts, 10 by knockout, 1 by submission. 5 losses in mixed martial arts, 1 by knockout, 2 by submission. I'm going with Oleksiejczuk. I think he's more effective in close range, and I think he's going to be able to close Dustin Jacoby down. And I just, regardless of height and reach and all those kind of things, he just, like you said, he just likes to scrap. He likes to get into close range and try and knock people out. And I do think he's going to be able to connect with Jacoby, who obviously has been tested a few times.
Yeah.
Which way are you going?
I think I'm going with the Lord as well.
Oh, yeah.
I just think that like Dustin sometimes extends like both hands a little bit too much. Like, it's kind of like an instinct that with the pressure that the Lord has, he can capitalize it.
I think it's just Lord. He's not the Lord.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of religious people upset with you saying that. Lord Oleksiejczuk. Like, like a guy that lives in a castle, and, I think that's the kind of vibe he was going for, as opposed to like,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Pissing off the Brazilian fighters left, right, and centre. They'll all be thanking
everybody
Oleksiejczuk in his post-fight
like...
interview. Okay, that's a good one to start with. I think. I think Oleksiejczuk's gonna have a real banger in this one, and I think he's gonna probably catch him with a couple of overhands.